So Brian was the most experienced lad on the firm. He'd had many years. I'd worked under him as a mate before on other companies, and he was vastly experienced in what he did.
So what went wrong? Brian had just removed the section of gantry. He unclipped. He walked around to the other side of the gantry to fetch his bosun's chair. He came back around. And then he stepped through the opening he just created. Brian fell 30 metres to his death, and so ended. 32 years being a steeplejack, being a husband, and being a dad. As a business, we provide twice the industry average for training. And we were the first to insist on the second rope for steeplejack access 8 years before it became compulsory. In addition, we have developed a unique fall rest system, as well as developing other innovations for safe working at height.
I knew that we as a company did every possible training that was available to be done. In fact, sometimes the lads moaned why we're having to do this again, you know, because you have to.
The business has been recognised with 9 ROSPA awards over 8 years. We were the first steeplejack company to achieve Investors in People in 1999. And I'm very proud to be made a Fellow of ROSPA and to be presented with the award for distinguished service. We were bulletproof, and there lay the problem.
The team has spent several years working together. We worked for regular clients, and Brian had done this job on this site before. There were jobs we did all the time. Jobs we didn't have to think about. So we didn't think. Not in any depth anyway. Implicit behaviour had replaced explicit behaviour, and habit replaces evaluation. No thinking, and certainly no talking. In a business like ours, if you're going to a challenging job, you think about it, you talk about it until you've got it straight. That way you foresee the problems, the challenges, the changes. But a regular bread and butter job, well, there was little thinking and there was little talking. Just a lot of assumptions.
Progressively, people get comfortable with the situation, and almost unwittingly they make it seem normal, and actually it's risky and they have to take precautions and follow procedures. But they make that situation, it repeats itself over and over, it becomes so normal that they begin to forget about the risks.
My gut feeling is that lads feel that with health and safety now, there is so much paperwork, and I think they think that keeps them safe. The only person that can keep you safe is you.
Then Colin happened. This time I was out and about when the call came. Ian again. Colin had fallen. He wasn't moving. So what had Colin done? The same Colin who was there 18 months previously when Brian had died. He decided to upside down a rock face without the correct lines attached. For a tea break. A tea break. He'd seen a colleague die, lived like the rest of us through the trauma, and made a basic violation for quick access for a tea break. After 6 weeks, he was back at work.
Don't cut corners because you think, actually, we could quit site and go home at 3:30 if we do it this way. And that's what I started to be fearful of, that actually they were cutting corners. When Keith went to site, when Ian went to site, or anybody else went to site, they were coming back bringing good reports. Yes, they've got this piece of equipment on, they're doing this right. But was it, when the cat's away, the mice will play?
I had to try and find a way of making sure that I could continue to work with absolute assurance in a business that could kill people. We had trained people. We had supervisors and team leaders. Brian himself was a team leader, but something was missing from the mix, and I needed to find out what it was and get it in place. So what if we made the thinking and the talking compulsory? Everybody, every job, all the time. That would make us focus, make us see the everyday commonplace dangers, recognise that little errors can turn into major events with the potential to kill.
This happens in industry because of small little mistakes here and there, and that's what they are, the small mistakes. They can be easily avoided, but that's what we have to keep our eyes out for, to watch these little mistakes happening and stop them before it occurs.
People have to remain continuously aware of location and hazard. We needed, and we still need, to make the visible peril in our case gravity, always visible. So that's what we did. It's what we do now. It's what we will always do. Before every job we talk, and crucially, during every job we talk. We discuss, we plan, we go over the paperwork, and we let the office and other stakeholders know what we've done and what we're doing, so it can never be left undone, nor uncontrolled. The other thing that these accidents had in common was the men. Only certain types of people can do a high-risk job, and they're people who get a buzz out of doing it. The flip side of this coin, this ability to be a steeplejack, is that a macho culture can develop. It can dominate, become a virus, which can be passed around through the generations.
Yes, you've got to be brave, but you haven't got to be macho. And I think it's the same in a lot of construction-related industries, that you hear them talking, and it's macho talk.
If you're involved in a dangerous job, you don't have to be a macho. You don't have to prove that you're a man. That's done, and that's taken as read. Because it isn't possible to have 100% concentration all of the time, then responsibility has to be shared. No hierarchies, no no-go areas, just looking out for your buddy while he's looking out for you. We start looking for the attitude that we want from the very start, when we recruit. And we develop it and own it through our training and culture.
I think the only thing that needs to be imposed from the top is the framework within which people work. The framework that says, as long as we do these things, then we've created an environment there where things will be safe. Everything else that you achieve in improving safety is down to behavioural safety. Because you can have the best possible procedure and the biggest pile of paperwork you could ever imagine with the best written procedures ever, and the person might still do the wrong thing. If they've actually been immersed in a behavioural safety programme, or they've been immersed in something where they actually understand what happened to each individual, then they're much more likely to behave differently.
Today, I can sit back and I'm very, very relaxed. My concern is 5 years' time, when everything becomes same. And it all becomes our core wallpaper, because you get used to the new. Next thing, you don't take notice of how dowdy it's getting. If the truth be known, I don't actually have the answer.